Have you ever wondered why Venus, Earth's nearest neighbor, is often referred to as its twisted sister? Well, let's delve into it. Venus, the second planet from the Sun, is remarkably similar to Earth in many ways. It's about the same size, it's made up of similar rocky material, and it even has a similar gravitational pull. But that's where the similarities end, and the twisted part of the sisterhood begins. Despite our shared characteristics, Venus is a world apart. Picture a place where the atmosphere is 90 times denser than Earth's, filled with a choking mix of carbon dioxide and thick clouds of sulfuric acid. This is not the kind of place you'd want to take a deep breath in, not unless you fancy a lungful of acidic mist. This dense, heavy atmosphere creates an intense greenhouse effect, trapping heat and catapulting Venus' surface temperature to an average of 867 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hotter than the surface of Mercury, which is closer to the Sun, and hot enough to melt lead. Imagine standing on the surface of a planet where the air pressure is equivalent to being half a mile under the ocean on Earth, while also standing in a pizza oven. That's what being on Venus would feel like. And if that's not extreme enough, Venus also has a retrograde rotation, spinning in the opposite direction to most other planets. This results in a peculiar phenomenon where the Sun rises in the west and sets in the east. Talk about a twisted sister. So what makes Venus so different? Planetary scientists believe that its current state is the result of a runaway greenhouse effect, where an abundance of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere has led to an extreme increase in temperature. It's a stark reminder of the potential consequences of unchecked climate change. So, while Venus might be Earth's nearest neighbor, it's far from a friendly one. Did you know that Venus has a rather peculiar spin? That's right, our neighboring planet Venus dances to its own rhythm in the cosmic ballet. Most planets, including our own Earth, spin on their axes from west to east. It's a bit like a top spinning clockwise. But Venus, the rebel of the solar system, spins in the opposite direction, from east to west, or counterclockwise if you prefer. This contrary spin is known as retrograde rotation, and Venus is the only planet in our solar system that has adopted this peculiar pirouette. Now, you might be wondering why Venus insists on being different. The answer is not entirely clear, but scientists believe that it might be due to a massive collision with an asteroid or another planet-sized body early in its history, which could have reversed its rotation. But that's not the only eccentricity of Venus's rotation. The planet also spins incredibly slowly. Imagine a day that lasts longer than a year. Sounds bizarre, right? Well, that's exactly what's happening on Venus. It takes Venus a whopping 243 Earth days to complete a single rotation on its axis. By comparison, even a Monday on Earth doesn't seem so bad. So, while Earth spins like a top, Venus spins more like a slowly turning wheel, and because of this slow rotation, Venus's magnetic field is much weaker than Earth's. Unlike the Earth, which generates its magnetic field through the rapid spinning of its liquid iron core, Venus's slow spin doesn't allow for the same dynamo effect. Now, here's a mind-blowing fact to wrap things up. Despite its slow spin, Venus orbits the Sun faster than the Earth. It completes an orbit every 225 Earth days. This means that a day on Venus, the period from one sunrise to the next, is longer than its year. This unique spin gives Venus a day longer than its year. Talk about a planet that truly marches or spins to the beat of its own drum. Ever wondered why Venus is known as the morning and evening star? This charming nickname isn't just poetic license, it's actually a reflection of Venus's positioning in relation to our own planet, Earth. Venus orbits the Sun inside Earth's orbit. In simpler terms, Venus takes a shorter route around the Sun than Earth does. This positioning has a unique effect on when and where we can see Venus from our perspective on Earth. In the early morning, just before the Sun rises, Venus can often be seen shining brightly in the dawn sky. It's one of the first celestial bodies to appear as daylight begins to break and the night sky fades away. Hence, Venus earns the title of the morning star. But Venus isn't content with just being a morning star. As Earth continues its rotation, Venus does not disappear from our sky. In fact, it remains visible, though it does change its position. At the end of the day, as the Sun begins to set and the sky starts to darken, Venus once again makes its appearance. This time, it's one of the last celestial bodies visible in the sky, hence the name evening star. In a way, Venus is like a celestial companion to Earth. Its proximity and orbit mean that it's often one of the first stars we see in the morning and one of the last we see in the evening. It's a constant presence in our sky, a shining beacon that bookends our day. It's worth noting that Venus isn't actually a star. It's a planet just like Earth, but its brightness in the sky has led to it being commonly referred to as a star. It's a testament to its prominence in our sky and the role it plays in our daily lives. So, Venus is the planet that keeps Earth company during both the start and end of the day. It's a celestial companion that's always there, lighting up the sky at dawn and dusk. It's the morning and evening star. Imagine a world where the atmospheric pressure can crush you. Welcome to Venus. Venus, our neighboring planet, is more than just a bright object in the night sky. It's a world of extremes, and one of its most striking features is its incredibly dense atmosphere. Picture this. Venus's atmospheric pressure is a whopping 92 times greater than Earth's. That's right, 92 times. It's the kind of pressure you'd experience about 900 meters underwater here on Earth. This intense pressure is due to the thick, heavy blanket of gases that surrounds Venus. Composed primarily of carbon dioxide, with a hint of nitrogen and trace amounts of other gases, this atmosphere is so dense that it would feel like being deep underwater. In fact, if an unprotected human were to step foot on Venus, they would be crushed almost instantly by the sheer weight of the atmosphere. But why is the atmosphere of Venus so much denser than ours? Well, it's a tale of runaway greenhouse effects. Venus is closer to the sun than Earth is, and over billions of years, the heat from the sun caused the water on Venus's surface to evaporate. This water vapor trapped more heat, leading to even more evaporation in a vicious cycle. Over time, this process created an incredibly thick atmosphere that traps heat and creates a pressure cooker-like environment. The crushing atmosphere of Venus is not just a curiosity. It's a stark warning of the dangers of uncontrolled greenhouse effects. While Earth's atmosphere is currently nowhere near as dense or as hot as Venus's, the same principles apply. Greenhouse gases trap heat, and too many of these gases can lead to an increase in temperature and pressure. So, the next time you gaze up at the night sky and spot Venus, remember the crushing pressure that exists just beneath its serene, cloud-covered exterior. It's a testament to the power of nature and a reminder of the delicate balance that makes life on our own planet possible. Venus certainly takes the breath away, quite literally. What do you think is the hottest planet in our solar system? If you're thinking Mercury because it's the closest to the sun, you'd be mistaken. The title of the hottest planet in our solar system goes to Venus. Yes, Venus, our neighboring planet, second from the sun, claims this scorching title. Now you might be wondering, how can Venus be hotter than Mercury? The secret lies in its atmosphere. Venus has an incredibly thick atmosphere, about 92 times denser than Earth's. This dense blanket of gases, primarily carbon dioxide, traps heat from the sun, creating a runaway greenhouse effect. This greenhouse effect is so intense, it elevates Venus's average surface temperature to a blistering 467 degrees Celsius. That's hotter than the surface of Mercury at its peak, and certainly hot enough to melt lead. Imagine stepping onto a planet where the temperature is equivalent to that of a self-cleaning oven in full swing. But the heat isn't the only factor that makes Venus's surface so hostile. The atmospheric pressure on Venus is immense, about 92 times greater than what you'd experience on Earth. That's equivalent to being 900 meters underwater. So not only would you be cooked, but you'd also be crushed. Despite these extreme conditions, Venus shares several similarities with our own planet, earning it the nickname Earth's twisted sister. It's roughly the same size as Earth, and its composition is similar. But the similarities end there. Venus is a vivid example of how different a planet can turn out, even in our own solar system. Venus's scorching surface and dense, crushing atmosphere make it a challenging place for exploration. Yet it continues to fascinate scientists, offering insights into planetary atmospheres and climate change. Venus, with its hellish surface, is a stark reminder of the power of a runaway greenhouse effect. So next time you gaze up at the sky, spare a thought for our fiery neighbor, Venus, and the lessons it can teach us about our